If you've ever Googled best all-inclusive in Cancun and ended up more confused than when you started, this episode is for you. Katie is our all-inclusive expert, and today she's cutting through the noise. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly which Cancun resorts are worth your vacation budget and which ones to skip. We plan these trips regularly and know this destination inside and out. We're giving you both the advisor perspective and the regular guest experience, so stay with us. And joining me as always, Katie, your travel
Hi.
agent chaos coordinator. She took it out of my script, so now I forget what we're called.
Oh, you know my name. You know.
Chaos coordinator. And me,
Yes.
Rachel, your travel agent bestie. We are really excited to bring you what we think is going to be a great addition to our library of Cancun resorts.
Woo.
It's almost summertime, and this is the perfect time to talk about this.
Yes and no. Um,
Let's explain.
and this is not in here, but I think this is a perfect time to bring this up.
Yes.
Is every time, usually around the end of spring break season, I have people coming to me to go to Cancun for the summer. Rachel lives in, South Texas.
Houston.
I live in North Louisiana. Cancun is a 4 hour flight for all of our local clients. It is so easy to get to Cancun. Cancun is not, if you are wanting that crystal blue, clear water and great beaches, Cancun in the summertime does not mix. That is going to be like November through March is when you're going to have those beautiful, beautiful water. I
And
just
that
wanted to.
no, that is a great because it's what's it called? Sasagula?
That's Sarzagama. I just call it seaweed. I just
Okay.
call it the seaweed, but we'll talk about the seaweed
With
as
the
we get
beaches
into
resort.
some of these resorts. Like I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to talk about it because it's just something you need to know. Um,
It
which is
yeah,
why a
it's
lot of the
it's our, we're very big on setting expectations for our clients. So like that's a huge one. You want we talk about like the Instagram worthy pictures all the time, and like you have that Instagram worthy picture in your
yeah.
head and you show up and there's seaweed everywhere.
Oh, and not even that. Like, the clouds can take your Instagram pictures away. Don't you remember the other day you were asking me for photos from Punta Cana when we stayed
Yeah.
at Dreams last summer?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I never got the turquoise water because it was overcast the whole trip. And
Yep.
because the sun was not shining, the water just looked murky. It was perfectly clear. You could see all the way to the bottom, but you didn't have that perfect light coming in so yeah. Anyway,
Well, let's
but
kick off we're going to talk about our favorite resorts. I feel like you also need to throw in some that you adamantly want to avoid, but we'll get to that. Let's start with, I feel like the most talked about, I don't know, how would you explain this resort? We're going to talk about,
mysterious because I feel like everybody knows what it is, but they don't really know what Xcaret is. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear it mentioned a lot, but you're like, what is that? Um, Xcaret is basically the Walt Disney World of Mexico.
yep.
And I mean, people call it that. So there are two hotels to Xcaret. There's Hotel Xcaret, which is the family friendly, and there's Xcaret Arty, which is the adults only. I've had clients at both of them. They love it. The draw for Xcaret is the parks. Xcaret has adventure parks. So it's like I said, it's like Walt Disney World
Yep.
of Mexico. So a couple of the hang on, I'm skipping ahead. We'll get to the parks in a minute. But
Yeah, talk about the
Xcaret,
hotel. Talk about the
yeah,
hotel.
Xcaret has this footprint, this layout where it is basically built into nature. So it is built around a river. You can even get river jump suites where you can walk out from your balcony and jump into the river. It is not a true beach resort. They do have a beach, but it's very small. It is more about connecting with the nature of Mexico, but it's ultra luxury at the same time. So,
But does it
oh my God,
have
I love it so
pool
much.
swim up suites?
Yes, There are pool swim up suites. There are ocean view suites because you can see the ocean, but like I said, it's not a huge, like big spread out beach that you can spend all day at. That's not what you're going to Xcarrot for. You're going to Xcarrot for the parks.
Tell us
And
about the parks.
there's like 6 parks. I'm just going to talk about the most popular 3. Xcarrot Park is the original. It has underground rivers. It has cenotes. It has animal habitats. Like this is the one that you spend all day long at. This is the magic kingdom of Xcarrot Parks. It even has a nighttime spectacular. Okay. And then
Love that
there's
analogy,
Explore.
by the way. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's the Magic Kingdom. And then there's Explore Park, which has zip line and ATVs, underground rafting. Under That's not something I would ever do, but if you were so inclined,
I don't
if you were
know.
an adrenaline junkie,
I might.
you can do underground rafting. And then Zihal, I might be saying that wrong. I don't speak Spanish.
Listen, the X's always mess me up with how to, even in like English, X's mess me up on how to
Yeah.
pronounce things.
Which is a natural water park. So it's a water park. You're going to have pools, you're going to have slides, you're going to have lazy rivers, you're going to have all that stuff. But just like they do at the resort, they have built it into nature. So, I mean, like, it's not real nature. It is very much man made luxury nature, but that's my style. I am not about real nature. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Give me fake nature. It's why I
Nature
like
adjacent.
It's like why I like Costa Maya as a cruise port because that's fake nature and I love it.
So
Uh,
we mentioned that there's not like ocean front per se. So tell us a little bit
no,
more about the beach because listen, when we go to Mexico, we're expecting a beach. So tell us about a beach.
so it's more of a small cove style beach that you can walk to. It's not like when you look out your balcony, most resorts you're going to see, just what's it called? Loungers. You're
Mhm.
going to see a couple palm trees, a wide sandy beach, and loungers. It's not going to be like that. You can go to the beach and spend some time, but like I said, if you are looking for a lay on the beach, do nothing trip, Xcarrot is not for you. Um, the food though is
Yeah,
great.
tell us about the food because,
Um,
the reputation with all inclusive in general is that the food is not great. So how is the food? How many dining options do we have?
oh, how many? A lot. I don't think I wrote down how many restaurants there were in
That's okay.
total. There's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot, but it's more experimental gourmet and sit down dining over the typical buffet. Like there is some buffets, right? And there is room service and stuff like that, but it's more, of a gourmet experience,
Well, I mean, the
which you
website
find
says gastronomy instead of
restaurant
restaurant. So
exactly.
that really should tell you all you need to know about that.
Exactly. We have 2 big foodie resorts in the lineup today, and this is one of them. You know what? I think that you would like Xcarrot.
There's 20 resorts,
20
20
resorts or 20?
restaurants, 20
Yeah,
restaurants.
20 restaurants. Mhm.
Sorry,
A lot.
you said resort, and then my brain just like
Yeah.
flipped the script. Yeah,
Hmm.
I I don't I don't I don't know because I we're gonna get to the one that I love, but I feel like I would because I'm not a beach person. That's
You're
why
not a beach person.
I'm not. I also struggle with being. I'm going to use the word air quotes lazy because we've all been brainwashed to think if we're taking some personal time
Mhm.
to just re-energize ourselves that we're being lazy. I have a hard time with being lazy.
Well, and that's one of that you are like the perfect demographic for Xcarrot because Xcarrot is the place that I send my families with teenagers and older kids. Like my kids are the perfect age now for Xcarrot. Literally just last week, I had a client at Xcarrot. They were texting me over the weekend telling me what a great time they had. 2 teenage daughters, all right, 2 teenage daughters that are always bored with everything, don't want to do anything, and they wanted to do one big family trip before they get into like graduation season and all of that with them. They had a blast. They said it was the perfect mix of go, 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 where the kids were not bored versus sit down,
Mm.
relax. They had a river jump suite, so they spent a lot of time just hanging out on that balcony. They said the kids had no issues putting away their phones and getting off of social media and just spending time as a family. Love to hear it. it when somebody comes back and gives me feedback like that, like that
Mhm.
you picked the perfect resort for us, like, is that not the best feeling in the world?
Oh my God, yes. Especially when they say like put the phones away thing, because I feel like
Yeah.
kids these days, they're like, it takes a lot to get them to disengage from
Hmm.
that phone. So the fact that they especially called attention to that, like,
Yep.
we love to see it.
So with that being said, who is Xcaret best for? Families with teens, active families, people that get bored at all-inclusive resorts. And a lot of people get bored at
A
all-inclusive
lot of
resorts.
people get bored at all-inclusive resorts. And I
And
think
be
this is also great for, well, all of these are going to be great for like people who are concerned about safety, but like people who are concerned about safety and want things to do, because you do not need to leave this. Like, none of these really you need to
yeah,
leave, but that's why you're saying like people who like to do stuff, but also like to be relaxed. All of these resorts are safe. So I think we
mhm,
also didn't address at the top a question we get asked a lot. Is it safe to go to Mexico right
safety.
now? And yes, it is. Like we say with all destinations, you have to be a smart traveler. Don't do foolish things and accept rides from people you don't even know, stuff like that. But this is one for sure where like you don't have to leave the resort to have all kinds of
Because
entertainment.
the excursions are built in.
Yeah.
Like it's just like Disney where there's a bus that comes every 30 minutes to take you to these parks. So there's not like the parks are walking distance. You do have to have transportation for them, but it's like I cannot stress this enough that it is the Walt Disney World of Mexico. With that being said, it's a little tricky to plan it. Just like Walt Disney World is, it takes some thought, it takes some planning, what parks, what days, what reservations, and they're kind of hard to get. It's not as simple as us logging into your My Disney Experience account and saying you're going to Hollywood on this day and blah blah blah. I have tricks for getting these reservations. I'm not going to share them. I'm going to gatekeep them, and I am proudly gatekeeping them. But
Hmm.
I'm in a lot of Xcaret Facebook groups where people are like, we just showed up and we didn't know we needed reservations." I mean, it's so much like Walt Disney World. Like the
Yeah.
comparison is crazy. We didn't know we needed reservations. We didn't know. So that is the only drawback to Xcaret is the beach situation, and it is a trip you have to actively plan.
Well, and that's a big reason why, you want to work with a travel advisor on this, because you could fall in love with this resort and then not know what to do. Well, guess what? You'll just call Katie, and Katie or I will say, okay,
Okay.
great, we've got your room booked. This is what we're doing next, but we're not going to shove all of it down your throat at one time. We're going to break it up so
Yeah.
it's manageable. But that way, like you're well taken care of. So that's, the travel agent. I'm trying to switch travel advisor because people don't like the word travel agent. So travel advisor, it's fine.
Why
Um,
don't they? Yeah.
Travel agent's so old school. Anyways, are there any
Oh,
drawbacks
also,
to this resort?
yeah, families of five. There are no rooms that sleep a family of five. Every single room category, except for like some of the really expensive suites, have a max of four guests. So I've had several of my families of five that are like, we want to go to Scare It so bad. It would be a two-room situation. And usually when it's a two-room situation, that price point is going to knock them out of it being in their budget. I do have a great family of five option that I took it off of here because I didn't want to go too long. But my family's of five. We'll talk about Garza Blanca because that's where y'all are going to go.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Well, give us your next one because you talk about this next resort often. I've heard you talk about this resort often. So tell us all about the Moon Palace.
Moon Palace. So Moon Palace um is one of the largest resorts in Cancun. It has three sections: Sunrise, Nizi, and the Grand. The Grand is a separate resort. Okay. Because one of the things I don't like about Moon Palace is it it is one of those resorts that has a booking tier. If you are booked at the Grand, you can do everything and anything. If you are booked at Sunrise or Nazik, you have restrictions on what is included in your
Mhm.
all inclusive. Is it enough to deter you from booking the regular Moon Palace? No, it's not. It's not. There is still a ton of stuff to do. And this like I said, it is a giant resort. Very much high energy family fun here. Like it is luxury, but more of the focus here is on go, go, go. What can we do? Combined with great pools and places to relax. So
So,
it's
I
almost
I
like a
didn't
cruise ship.
ask you about the vibe. We should maybe kind of talk because to me it's really important, like the vibe of the hotel. So, well, first, give me the vibe for X Garrett because we didn't talk about that. Like, what do the rooms feel like? Are they modern? Are they tropical? Like,
Oh,
what do the rooms feel like? What does the
they're
resort feel like?
modern with nature feels.
Okay,
Yeah. And then like the vibes for Moon Palace is just like modern luxury. Like, yeah. So like Xscaret, it has a lot of natural feel to it. So like you're gonna see like things that look like, mud walls and stuff like that. Where at Moon Palace, you're gonna see fine high-end finishing.
perfect. So, what things can you do at Moon Palace? How are we going to stay entertained besides just sitting at the beach?
They have state of the art kids clubs. Like these kids clubs are impressive, impressive, impressive. Bumper cars, a ginormous water park, as well as many water parks throughout the resort, but there is like a giant water park. Flow rider wave simulator, paddleboard kayaking. Did I say bumper cars?
You
Bumper
did.
cars.
Bumper
Bumper
cars, that
cars.
sounds like a lot of fun. Like, I don't like go-karts, but I like bumper cars. Explain that to me. I don't know.
Same.
Okay,
Same. Because when I drive a go-kart, it turns into a bumper car.
that's
Yeah.
fair. At least with the bumper car, like, I go in knowing we're going to be getting
You're gonna hit
whiplash.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So, but sounds like lots of pools, lots of resort
Lots
activities,
of pools.
lots of
Hmm.
resort activities to do. But like we said, beach is the big draw for Cancun. So tell us about the beach.
It's terrible.
Oh, I don't love that.
It is terrible. Very small, very prone to seaweed here.
Okay.
Okay. It is not the draw for Moon Palace. Moon Palace, the draw is all the things that you can do on the resort and the beauty and luxury of the resort. It is not the beach. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I want to say. Now, if you are staying at Moon Palace, you can have access to their sister palace, their sister resort, Beach Palace. Okay. Which has the incredible beach. Beach Palace is like in the area of the Cancun hotel zone. All right. That has the incredible beach. Now you're asking yourself, Katie, why wouldn't you just book me at Beach Palace?
Katie,
I
why wouldn't you just book me at Beach Palace?
Because Beach Palace is old and run down and they're working on it, okay? They're working on it and there's nothing to do there but beach. It's like Ken, my job is beach. Like that's all you would do if you were a Beach Palace. But the the hotel Palace Resorts is working on fixing Beach Palace. So I will keep y'all updated on that. But also, they're not going to provide transportation for you to get from Moon Palace to Beach Palace.
Mm.
Yeah, you're on your own, kid. You always have been.
Well,
Um,
that's all fine and good, but while I'm sitting by the pool relaxing, what am I eating? Because look,
you're
we only care
eating
about the food.
so
We care
much.
about the room, we care about the food. We care about the room, we care about the food.
So
Tell me.
I would not qualify this as foodie
Okay.
in mine in your terms of foodie.
Okay.
But this is definitely a step up for most all-inclusive resorts. Like the food is good.
Okay.
The food is good. There's over 20 plus restaurants, Italian, Asian, a Brazil steakhouse, Mexican restaurants, tons of quick, fast bites too. So definitely plenty of options for you and your kids, but it's not like Xscaret or the one we're going to talk about right after this, where it's like gourmet
Mm.
dining. So
Well, so who would this resort be best for? Because it sounds similar to
everybody,
Xcaret, but who's good for this resort?
everybody, everybody. This is where I send my clients who have youngerish children or multi-generational trips that have never been out of the country before. and they need a starter resort. It's Moon
Mm.
Palace
So
because you don't
tell
have
us
to.
about your most recent client that was there. How did they feel? How old were their kids? What were their thoughts on it?
I haven't had anybody go to Moon Palace since last summer. Generally, I think one of their kids were like 11, 9, and 4. And then I had another one, their kids were 9 and 8. Perfect ages for Moon Palace. The feedback I always get from Moon Palace is that they felt safe. There was plenty to do. The kids were not bored, but there was a lot of relaxation time at the same time, less than you have with Xcaret. So Xcaret is more go, 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 where Moon Palace is just go, go, go. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very similar to a cruise. You can be as busy as you want, or
Mm.
you can be as lazy as you want, and you don't feel like you're wasting your time or your money.
So what's one of your expert nuggets that you'd like to share? Obviously, we're not giving away all of our
Already
secrets
did.
because you
I
got to
already
work with us.
said it.
Oh, you
I
did?
said
Okay.
it already. I talked about the Beach Palace thing that you can get access to Beach Palace. That's my expert nugget there.
I mean that is
Also,
a
no,
great
I have more to say. I have more to say.
note.
You knew it was coming. So,
Teed you up.
like I said, if you are booked at regular Moon Palace, you do not have access to every single thing that there is to do. Certain things cost extra, like the big water park. I have a whole chart that I have made that goes out in my proposal with what you get at each one because I want you to know that. Most of my clients have said that it's fine to just stay at regular Moon Palace. And I think it's like $100 for the day to go to the water park for one day. And that's okay. It's kind of a happy medium. But I would love to talk to you personally, if you're watching this, about the difference between the two to figure out the best one for you. Also, the swim up rooms book extremely quickly. I have a client for the last 2 years. We have been trying to get her a swim up suite at the Grand. And every time she is ready to book it, it is gone. And this will make sense to Rachel, but not to y'all. We ended up pivoting her to Beaches, Turks, and Caicos for fall break. Peaches, Turks, and Caicos books up so fast. So the fact
Yeah.
that I was able to find her a room that she liked better there over Moon Palace should let y'all know we book Moon Palace way in advance. As soon as you feel like you are ready to go, we're going to book it. I can get you a regular room almost anytime, but those swim up rooms, so fast.
Because let me tell you something. I won't stay at a beach resort unless it's a swim up.
Same. It's like a veranda on a cruise ship. You are
Yep.
not going to catch me without that swim up room.
Yep. Now that I've done it, I'm like, what was I even thinking? I'm never gonna do it any way other again.
No.
But
Mm-mm.
every resort has its drawbacks, so go ahead, tell us the drawbacks for Moon Palace.
That was the drawback.
The beach.
The beach and the different tiers of booking.
I don't
The
think I don't think that's a drawback. I think that's just an education thing because, it's just like having resorts with concierge and butler service. Like there's different tiers. I don't think that's a drawback. I think that's just like why you want to work with an advisor so that you're
Mhm.
aware, whereas like you don't want to show up and they be like, "Oh, you want to go to the water park? It's extra money."
Boo.
Right.
Yeah. You didn't know. Mhm.
So I feel like is this your favorite one? Is this your favorite one?
This is my favorite one.
Okay, okay. So tell us all about Atelier Playa Mujeres.
This is the only adults only that we're talking about today. Okay. The only one because it is the best one. So it is adult only. It is ultra luxury. This is ultra luxury. So, like, when you're watching like the White Lotus,
Okay.
not the crazy people, but the vibes of a resort, that is what you're going to get at Atelier. It is in Playa. Did you say it right?
Playa Mujeres, yes.
Yeah, which is the best beach in the Cancun area. So it is way up north of the hotel zone. I have a little sidebar. When I first started doing this, I literally had to take a class on the geography of Cancun and the different zones. Like I took a whole day class to learn all this because I've been to Cancun several times. I just always landed at the airport, got the transportation. Like, where are we going? I had no idea the different zones and what the hotels are like in the different areas. Anyway, I went on a tangent.
I mean, but
It,
that is a great tangent because this is
yeah.
the thing with travel advisors that take their craft seriously is we will get educated about these things. So that way, if you say, hey, I want to go in the summer, but is there a
Mhm.
resort that doesn't have a bunch of seaweed? We'll be like, okay, we can minimize your risk. This is where you should stay. Or if someone is like, I don't want to stay in hotel zone, I've been there a million times. Where is somewhere else that
Yes.
you recommend? This is what we do.
Which is the difference between Playa Mujeres, can't
Playa
say it,
Mujeres.
and the hotel zone. Okay. Is the hotel zone is going the past couple of years it's been hit with seaweed and it
Mhm.
has been bad. So yes, the hotel zone is normally perfect, turquoise water, calm beach, spend all day out there. This the seaweed has been awful.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be less of a risk if you're going more north. All right. Beautiful beach. There was a little bit of seaweed, I think, there in July, but it was not near as bad as the mountains and mountains of it that you saw everywhere south.
So tell us a
Um,
little bit more about the vibes for Atelier. Like you said it's
um,
okay, but like that doesn't tell me what I want.
so what you're wanting to know what the hotel looks like?
Well, yeah,
Uh,
obviously. We're gonna add some
ultra,
pictures. We're gonna add some pictures so like
yeah,
you guys can see, but like for those
ultra
that aren't
luxury.
watching. Okay.
Ultra luxury, very modern, high-end furnishings,
Okay.
very serene feeling.
Okay.
Serene, I think, is a better word than calm. So
Okay.
not a lot of loud colors, a lot of muted
Okay.
nature tones. That is what you're going to get here. There is a golf course next door, and it just flows perfectly. That's why this one's on my radar. We keep trying to plan an adults trip. I have sent Oh my gosh, I've sent a lot of clients here, but I have not personally been here. My husband would flip if we went because y'all know he's a golfer and he is also a foodie because that is the thing about this resort is it is a true uh gourmet experience.
Well,
World renowned chefs.
before you talk about the
I
food
know.
though, Um, aside from the golf course, which, there's people that love golf, but then there's people that don't love golf. What else is there to do? What are the pools like? Tell me, draw me in. Why am I
We
as an adult going to stay
got
here besides the food?
we've got swim up rooms. We have infinity pools that overlook the beach. I think there is a rooftop pool. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Anyway, um, the spa and the dining and the beach. So this, like I said, it's a more calm experience. It's a more serene experience. Someone could get bored here. All right. Because it is more about relaxation and being like present in the destination than go, go, go.
So, talk a little bit more about the food because we all know we need good food when we're on
Yep.
vacation, and there's not very many in Mexico that have great food. So, talk us
Yep.
about the food.
This is definitely one of them. World renowned chef ran restaurants, hard to get reservations. Like this is another one that we're going to be making your reservations in advance. And I have this down here for like the expert advice, but sometimes even I can't get the reservations for the restaurants that you want here unless we have booked it a certain way that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But the food is absolutely incredible. Like that's what everybody comes back and reports back to me after their trips is they rave about the food and the beach and the service. Excellent service here.
So I feel like we know who this is best for. Obviously, couples, honeymooners, anniversaries, adults.
Adults.
Because your kids can't be here. So adults.
No.
But would you say this is a girls' trip place?
Yes. I don't think it has an overly romantic vibe.
Okay.
I think absolutely for a certain friend groups. You know, like if you have a friend group where y'all are going to want to party and y'all are going to want to dance at night and see shows and stuff, this is not for y'all.
Well, yeah,
But
let's
if
say this is like, we're older, we want to just have a good cocktail by the pool and gossip
and
and read
read
our
your
books.
books,
Yeah,
yes, yeah, 100%. Like you and I could go together and we could read our books and just,
yeah,
order room service and have snacks and
perfect,
have a nice dining reservation every night and probably be fun.
perfect.
But if you and I were going, I would probably cap us at 4 nights because we would get bored.
Absolutely. Yeah,
We
that
would get
four
bored.
nights is always my max with these because I get bored. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're exactly right. So tell us about the room type. Give us our a little
Okay.
sneak into your secret.
I'm not a person that typically is going to try to upsell you. Like we just talked about the difference between Moon Palace and Moon Palace the Grand. And I'm saying most of the time you don't need to be at the Grand unless you want to be at the Grand. They have a concierge level, which is called Inspira Suites. They have access to a private beach. They have priority dining reservations. That is why when I have people that are booked in the regular suites, sometimes I cannot get them some of the dining reservations that they want because they are holding them for their concierge level.
Mm.
So this is one of the resorts that I'm really like, yeah, you should upgrade to this. And I don't remember if it's this one or if it, because I was looking at like 8 resorts and going back and forth on what to put on here. There's one that has, if you are concierge, you have access to a rooftop pool. I can't remember. It could be, but I
I
can't
think it's this one
remember.
because it's not I don't think it's the Hyatt.
I don't think it's the Hyatt either. I just can't remember if it's one that I took off.
Well, and we already talked about your drawback. It can be a little dull at night, but for people who don't like a nightlife, it sounds absolutely perfect. So
Yeah.
fantastic. Let's end with one that I enjoy and I have been to, the Hyatt Ziva. Tell us about the Hyatt Ziva. Hyatt like basically owns Cancun, by the way, at this point. But
Is buying every all-inclusive property all over the world. But I'm not mad at it.
I
I'm
love
not mad at Hyatt buying all
Hyatt
these
does a great
properties.
job.
They
Hyatt,
do.
they do a great job. If it was
They do.
another hotel brand, I might have a problem with it, but Hyatt, I'm at peace with. So tell
Same.
us about the Hyatt Ziva, the
Okay.
vibes.
So this is kind of one of those more high-rise modern family resorts in the hotel zone. We are smack, no, we're not smack dab in the hotel zone. We're on the north end of the hotel zone. One of the coolest things about this resort is it's on the tip of the peninsula. So it's surrounded by water on three sides. Has a huge beach.
Mhm.
Huge beach. Rachel's gonna put the picture up there because I sent it to her. And you've been there, you said.
I've
You've
been
been
there, yeah.
yeah. So one side has the rocky beach with, views and stuff like that. And then the other side is the beach where you can play. Um, Consistently voted one of the best beach resorts for families in Cancun. Like hands down. Like if you want beach, this is where we're going. We're kind of running out of time, so I'm gonna be fast about it. Um, so it's more of a beach pool focused resort. It has a great kids club, but there's not a ton of things to do like you're going to see at Moon Palace or Xcaret. This is more for we want to relax, we want to lay by the beach, we want to lay by the pool.
Mhm.
Food is also kind of basic here.
Yeah, the food is, I
This
would
is
absolutely
this
agree.
is your typical all-inclusive food.
And
Mhm.
the rooms I would also say are fine. They're not
Basic.
they're not gross, but they're not I was wanting a little bit more from the hotel rooms, but I also didn't walk in and like, ugh, we need to leave. You know what I mean?
They look like a hotel that you could stay at anywhere
Yeah.
in the United States. There is nothing overly beach or Mexico about the rooms.
Yeah. And the food
Yeah.
also, it was fine. Nothing was ick, but also nothing was, oh my God, I need to have this
Yeah.
again. Fine.
This resort is where I send my families with younger children and my multi-generational trips. Like if we're taking the grandparents, if we're taking kids that are like 3, 4, 5, 6, this is where we're going. Because when you have kids that young, you know that you're going to spend a lot of time on the beach. My
Yeah.
kids don't want to spend as much time on the beach. There's like a window for kids and beach, and it's toddlers and high schoolers. That is the beach window. Middle schoolers don't want to be on the beach. I'll tell you that right now. Um, the great thing about Hyatt Ziva is there isn't any planning. It is just show up and go. There is nothing that we need to book in advance. There's nothing that you need to think about in advance. The most complicated thing you're going to do is what to pack. So one of those great options for that for younger moms, younger families that are just stressed out and you need to get out of the country, great safe option to do that.
Also a great
Um,
spa.
oh, did you go to the spa?
Oh yeah. My favorite spa that I've been to.
Wow.
Because they had just
That's big
recently,
praise.
yeah, they renovated like the cold plunges and the sauna and steam rooms and stuff. I really like that. And I had a great massage. So the the
I
spa
love a
was fantastic. But
I love a steam room.
all this is great. It's easy to plan. It's a great location. The beach is nice. Obviously, everything has a drawback. So tell us the drawback to this resort.
In my opinion, the food and this one's very popular. It books up really, really fast. I don't send a lot of people here because my clients don't typically have a long timeline before they book their all inclusives. I don't know why. If y'all know why, tell me why, please. But normally I can't get people in here because everything's all booked up. So it can feel a little bit crowded on high travel weeks and school breaks and such.
Yeah, I agree with that. We went in 2020. So
Oh, yeah. So it's fine.
yeah,
You're
so it
like,
was
there's no one
fine.
here.
Yeah, and we were able to get like a swim up suite last minute because people
Yeah.
weren't traveling. We were fully
Hmm.
vaccinated, so it was fine. But
Yeah.
now, yeah, it's really rare for my last minute clients if I see it at all. So we want to,
Hmm.
the thought with Cancun is you can book it last minute. And you can. Like let's be honest,
Can.
you can book Cancun last minute, but you are going to have in the nicest way possible the scraps of rooms.
Yeah, you're going to have a crappy room category, is what it
Yeah.
is. I can probably get you into any of these resorts. I'm not going to get you your top tier room category.
Yeah.
And I think room category matters at all inclusives, but that's a whole
Absolutely.
other conversation that we don't
Absolutely.
have time for.
We don't have time for it, but we'll circle back to it because room types, oh yeah, this we'll have a whole nother episode on it because I 100% agree with you. But if anything we shared today sounds like your kind of trip, this is your sign. We plan Cancun and Mexico vacations regularly and know which resorts are actually delivering right now, not just which ones have the best marketing. Okay. So check out the link in our show notes to schedule time with either one of us so we can chat with you and fit you with your perfect fit Mexico resort. Until next time, bye.
Bye.